What's up, family? I hope you had a great weekend, but I have a question for you. Do you think that Universal Basic Income, or UBI, is a good thing? We are going to be talking about that today, as well as whether or not this can actually fix the poverty issue. But first, we do want to go ahead and start this video off by talking about yesterday, which was Mother's Day, and I want to make sure that all of my mothers out there that are watching this video, hey, I definitely want to tell you Happy Mother's Day. I hope you enjoyed your day yesterday, and I hope that it was everything that you wished that it would be. So anyways, happy Mother's Day to all of you out there. In addition to that, guys, we also had a mass shooting yesterday, which was in Alabama, in which 3 people were killed and 12 others were wounded at this particular day party. Yes, about 1,000 people were at a party when an altercation began and gunfire ended up erupting, resulting in victims that sheriff department said that were mostly younger people. This is very sad, considering that, number one, we had another mass shooting, and number two, that we had 3 people that ended up losing their lives, and number 3, it was mostly young children at this particular event. But anyways, we won't necessarily go into much detail in regards to this, but just know that 3 people have lost their lives, and we definitely want to keep those related to them, their families, their children, if they have any, as well as their family and friends as well. We definitely want to keep them lifted up in prayers during this particular time. I can't even imagine for someone to lose their child, let alone a loved one. So definitely want to keep them in our prayers in the meantime. But also, guys, what went on over the weekend? Well, there was this thing called the Northern Lights. Do you guys live north in the northern states? Let me know down below in the comment section and whether or not you were able to participate and watch some of these northern lights ended up going on in the sky. I've been looking at multiple pictures and videos over the weekend, and this is rather impressive. I've never even heard of this before until now, so don't judge me, guys. But anyways, these northern lights was something about the atmosphere, which pretty much changed the way the color of the sky was evolving. And yes, the northern lights ended up dazzling Americans again on Saturday night as well as Friday night, with flashes of green, purple, pink lighting up the sky in much of the northern United States of America. Through the display didn't appear as brilliant or reach as far south as of Friday, which I live in Texas, so unfortunately I was not able to participate in. But I do want to know whether or not you were able to participate in this, or if you haven't, go online, guys, and look it up on Google or TikTok and look at this amazing view of this sky, which was changing colors. Let me know what you think about that, guys. I was rather impressed, and like I said, this was my first time hearing about it, and I wanted to get your thoughts on it as well. So anyways, guys, I would look forward to hearing what you have to say about it. But anyways, let's go ahead and talk about Universal Basic Income, or better known as the UBI program, which is pretty much happening in multiple states across the country. We have seen a lot of this since the pandemic back in 2020, and it looks like it is still happening in multiple states as well. But over the weekend, guys, we did hear from Sam Altman, which is the CEO of a company called OpenAI, which is artificial intelligence. And yes, he is a very popular guy in the tech community. Well, he made a statement that he still supports the idea of moving towards a universal basic income program. Yes, the OpenAI CEO, Sam Altman, has long supported the idea of a universal basic income. Many in the AI technology world think that a universal basic income could help mitigate the impacts of the tech on workers. Altman floated a new kind of basic income idea last week that he calls universal basic compute. What does he mean by that? Well, he says that he has an interesting new idea to help those struggling financially. He calls it universal basic compute. Everybody's getting like a slice of the GPT's compute compute. He said in an all AI podcast, they can use it, they can resell it, they can donate it to somebody to use it for cancer research. The idea is that AI becomes advanced and embedded into our more facets of our daily lives. Owning a unit of a large language model, such like GPT-7, can be more valuable than money you own, like a part of the productivity. Altman has long supported for a universal basic income, a reoccurring cash payment, no strings attached, made to all adults in a given population, regardless of their wealth and their employment status. Altman, the CEO, like many others in the tech industry, sees that a universal basic income as a safety net for people as AI threatens their jobs on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. Altman started his own UBI experiment back in 2016, and the results of which he said on the podcast would be released very, very soon. Now, the program did provide payments of between $50 to $1,000 a month to more than 3,000 enrollees or participants, and cities and states across the United States have experimented with this version of this called guaranteed basic income. And these programs give basically no strings attached cash payments on a monthly basis for a certain period of time based on their demonstrated need or their social and societal status instead of a population as a whole. But anyways, the CEO believes that this is a great idea, and he thinks that it could potentially fix the poverty issue in this country. But anyways, I wouldn't necessarily beg to differ, but we'll talk about that in just a moment. In addition to basic income program, we also are seeing where this other major U.S. city is now handing out $32 million to its residents as a guaranteed income program, as this particular program ends up getting a reboot. We are talking about one of the major U.S. cities is preparing to relaunch a multi-million-dollar basic income program that will hand out cash payments directly to residents. Now, this is according to the mayor, Brandon Johnson, which is of Chicago, says that he is reallocating about $32 million to reboot this Chicago Resilient Communities pilot program, according to CBS News. The revived program seeks to hand out $500 per month for a period of 1 year to families experiencing financial struggles. Now, the mayor says that the funding will come from the $1.9 billion that the city received from President Biden's American Rescue Plan Act that was signed back in 2021. The city of Chicago is giving the guaranteed income program new life as an effort to distribute the remaining funds or risk giving it back to the federal government next year. Now, the Chicago Resilient Communities was initially launched by the former mayor, Lori Lightfoot, in 2022, and that was projected to help about 5,000 low-income households get back on their feet after the pandemic. Now, the Johnson administration has not yet divulged the qualifications details for this particular reboot of this program, but participants of the original pilot were Chicago residents at least 18 years of age at the time of enrollment. They also had a family income at or below 250% of the federal poverty line, and they also faced financial difficulty due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The exact number of families that will receive the $500 monthly payments under this restarted, rebooted program also remains unknown, but do know that this program is coming back once again. They are just working out all the details in regards to how they are going to present this, because like they said, they have about $32 million in remaining funds, and they either pretty much, you've heard it before, either use it or lose it. So they are trying to use it versus losing it. So anyways, I'm sure more details will come out very soon. This was just some breaking news that I at least wanted to share with you, but I would only assume that this particular program will probably repeat the same thing, which was pretty much the $500 monthly payments given out to Chicago residents. But again, we are still waiting on the details, and once we receive that, I will get back to you on that information. So be on the lookout for that. You know who else is also giving out a little bit of free money? This actually shocked me. I will tell you that. But anyways, guys, we are talking about Google, the large tech company that has been around for many, many years. And you know, they make billions of dollars every single month, every single quarter, every single year. So they have a lot of money that they could potentially give out. But in this particular case, they are wanting to give out about $12,000 a year to 225 families to battle homelessness in those particular areas. Now, specifically, we are talking about the California Bay Area, in which Google is co-funding a $2.8 million guaranteed income pilot program in the California Bay Area to test its effectiveness in preventing homelessness. Now, this particular program is in partnership with J. Paul North America, and it will provide 225 families at risk of losing their housing with $1,000 monthly payments for at least 12 months, while another 225 families will receive $50 per month as part of this particular program. Now, again, this initiative is part of Google's broader $1 billion commitment to address the housing crisis in the San Francisco area, reflecting a growing interest in the universal basic income as a strategy to combat poverty. We all know that California, specifically the expensive cities such as San Francisco, those are the ones that are really dealing with a huge influx of homelessness. We all know that it is completely expensive to stay in those particular areas. So anyways, Google is trying to hand out a little bit of money just to give them, some individual, a little bit of help, mostly those individuals that are on the verge of becoming homelessness rather than those that are already homeless at this particular time. So anyways, what do you think about that? I'd love to get your thoughts on that. Google is putting their foot in the door, trying to do their part in the main San Francisco Bay Area. So anyways, guys, we don't know necessarily where this is going to end up at, but do know that at least they are doing a little bit of something different by trying to help people, prevent them from falling below the poverty level. So anyways, guys, last but not least, we just talked about it, but I do want to know whether or not you believe whether that universal basic income can actually help end poverty in this country. Yes, according to this particular article, people who work on ways to end poverty have been trying a simple approach lately, just giving money to those in need with no strings attached. Universal basic income, or better known as UBI, seemed like a radical idea in the United States. According to the former president candidate Andrew Yang, pitched this idea as part of his 2020 campaign. It did not necessarily take any legs whatsoever. But then came COVID-19 pandemic, which showed that a little money from the government could help some people in big ways. And now many places in the country are pushing to make UBI a permanent part of the social safety net. What do you think about this, guys? The biggest question is whether or not you believe that universal basic income, or UBI, or giving away free checks on a monthly basis can actually end poverty in this country. I will say that I do not agree with this. I do not believe that it will actually end poverty. I do believe that it will help those that are really looking for that help. However, for those individuals that are just wanting some free money to do whatever, it is not going to help them whatsoever. They are going to blow that money just like they have probably blown every opportunity in the past. So anyways, guys, you already know how America is. You already know how individuals is. You already know how humans in this country act in regards to money. Some people use it as a tool to get to what they need to take care of them and their family, to make a little bit of a additional growth for them. And then some individuals just use it as an opportunity to just buy stuff and spend it all because they're among the assumption of YOLOing, or just using it as you only live once mentality. So anyways, guys, in regards to that particular statement, I believe that this will not end poverty. We will still always have people that are going to be pushed down below in poverty, especially as the inflation in this country continues to rise on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. So anyways, guys, I would love to get your thoughts on this. Do you believe that these particular programs in various states, various cities, various communities, do you believe that it will actually end poverty? I would love to get your thoughts on this. If you get the opportunity, comment down below, as well as hit the like button. It really helps out this video. video. And then if you haven't already, please take the time to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It definitely helps us grow on YouTube. So anyways, outside of all that, I hope to see you on the next video.